A very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television, the perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you the top national, international and sports news. I'm Ashwarya and these are the headlines. Triple Talaq and Citizenship Amendment Bill slated for consideration and passing in the Rajya Sabha. Both bills will lapse if not passed today. Government likely to table CAG report on capital acquisition in the Indian Air Force. In the Lok Sabha, bills against Ponzi schemes and child sexual abuse is slated for consideration and passing. House passed a finance bill yesterday by a voice vote. Robert Wadhawan interrogated for 9 hours on Tuesday by the Enforcement Directorate in the Bikaner land scam case. Questioning to resume today. Retail inflation falls to a 19-month low of 2.05% in January. It is the lowest rate since June 2017. Industrial output growth remains subdued at 2.4% in December 2018. And Gujarat agitation for 5% reservation in government jobs and education enters 6th day in Rajasthan. State cabinet mulls bringing special backward status quota bill in the assembly. First up, news from Parliament on the last day of the budget session today. A number of bills are slated for introduction, consideration and passage. Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad will move the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Bill 2018 or the Triple Talaq Bill in the Rajya Sabha today. The bill criminalizes the practice of instant triple talaq with a provision of 3 years imprisonment to the husband. It was passed in the Lok Sabha on 27th of December last year, with the 245 votes in favour and 11 against the bill. However, the triple talaq ordinance was re-promulgated in January this year as the bill could not be passed in the Rajya Sabha where the government lacks majority. The opposition parties want the bill to be sent to the Select Committee of Parliament for further vetoing and a demand that has been rejected by the centre. Home Minister Rajnath Singh will move the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2019 to further amend the Citizenship Act of 1955. The bill seeks to amend the Citizenship Act of 1955 to make illegal Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis and Christian immigrants who have fled from Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan and entered India before 31st of December 2014 eligible for Indian citizenship. The bill was cleared by the Lok Sabha in the winter session. Now, both these bills will lapse if the Rajya Sabha does not pass it today, which is the last day of the budget session. And as per the provision regarding lapse of a bill in the Rajya Sabha, a bill which is passed by Lok Sabha and is pending in Rajya Sabha lapses on the dissolution of Lok Sabha. And also pending in the House is discussion on the motion of the thanks of the President's address. The motion was moved in the House by BJP MP Bhupendra Yadav last week on Wednesday, and also a general discussion on the interim budget 2019. And the government is also likely to table the CAG report on capital acquisition in Indian Air Force in Parliament today. All right, let's go across to our colleague Akhilesh Suman, who is joining us live from the national capital. A very good morning, Akhilesh. So it is the last day of the budget session of Parliament. But, you know, there are a number of things that are, of course, hanging fire. Speaking about Rajya Sabha first, you know, there is going to be the discussion on motion of thanks to the President's address. That is also there slated to be done. There's also the discussion on the interim budget. Plus, there are a number of bills, including the Citizenship Amendment Bill and the Triple Talaq Bill, both of which will lapse if not passed in the Rajya Sabha.
You are right, Aishwarya. It is now, you know, depending upon the good senses of the opposition members that how they want to run the House today. Because there are two constitutional, obligations on Rajya Sabha to pass the motion of thanks of the President and also to return the interim budget, consider and return the interim budget to Lok Sabha. So these are the very necessary things that yesterday leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad also had mentioned, and he had appealed to the opposition member to pass to consider interim budget and pass a motion of thanks. So I think Aishwarya, this is going to be a very tough day for also opposition and also treasury benches. I am telling about opposition because All India Trinamool Congress wants to adjourn the house and start immediate discussion on damage to constitutional institutions and also the working of CBI. So it will be interesting to see that how Trinamool Congress wants to accommodate Ghulam Nabi Azad's statement yesterday that motion of thanks and interim budget should be passed. Other than that, triple talaq and citizenship amendment bill, there is a sharp partisan in Rajya Sabha among treasury benches and opposition. So I think there is a highly unlikely that these two bills are going to be passed. Time is also a big constraint, and other than time, that because of partisan, government will also be, I think, will not push it too much, seeing the whole timing, because that Northeast is boiling and many of the chief ministers also have conveyed their concern to Union Home Minister and also to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So in that way, that today is the main day to pass the motion of thanks and return the interim budget to Lok Sabha anyhow. That will be the biggest thing that if Rajya Sabha can do it, Aishwarya.
Right. Of course, there's lots on agenda, but we have to wait and watch what happens in the Rajya Sabha today. Stay with us, Akhilesh. We'll come back to you because we also need to discuss about Lok Sabha. And the government on Tuesday introduced the bill in Rajya Sabha to amend the Cinematograph Act and impose a strict penalty to combat the menace of film piracy. Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad said that both the Treasury and opposition benches have the responsibility in the functioning of the House and requested the House to take up the motion of thanks on the President's address and the general discussion on the budget. Panchanan Mishra brings us this report.
After important papers were laid on the table, Leader of Opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad said that some constitutional responsibilities lie upon both the government and the opposition. He said that discussing the motion of thanks on the President's address is a constitutional responsibility. Apart from this, he said that a discussion on the union budget is also important.
सर, कुछ संवैधानिक जिम्मेदारियां हम सब पर, सरकार पर भी और विपक्ष पर भी, और जिन्हें पूरा करना। राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर चर्चा करना और धन्यवाद करना, ये संवैधानिक जिम्मेदारी है। बजट पारित करना, ये हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी। बहुत सारे नोटिस हमारे साथियों ने विपक्ष के और शायद सत्ताधारी पार्टी के भी दिए जो नहीं हो पाए। सर, मेरा निवेदन होगा, राष्ट्रपति का भाषण एक बहुत बड़ा वसी चीज होती है जिसमें हर दल के लिए, चाहे वो विपक्ष हो या सत्ताधारी पार्टी हो, अपनी बात जो यहाँ 10 दिन से नहीं कर पाए, अपनी नोटिसों के द्वारा उन पे चर्चा उस भाषण में पूरी तरह से हो सकती है, उसमें कोई रुकावट नहीं है। आप जानते हैं माननीय चेयरमैन, मेरा निवेदन होगा सदन से और विपक्ष से कि 11 बजे से सदन चले और 6-7 बजे तक, 6-7 घंटे में, 8 घंटे में, अगर 10 घंटे संभव नहीं होगा, 8 घंटे में आज जवाब हो जाए और उसका उत्तर भी हो जाए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की तरफ से और चर्चा पूरी हो जाए, बजाय कि हम आपस में लड़ें कि इस पे चर्चा होनी चाहिए, उस पे चर्चा, और फिर सदन और कल सुबह 11 बजे से बजट लेना चाहिए, दोपहर तक 4-5 बजे तक खत्म करें और उसके बाद जो आम सहमति जिन बिलों पे होगी उन आम सहमति 7-8 बजे तक, जितने 9 बजे तक निकल सकते हैं, उनको पारित किया जाए। ये मेरा निवेदन होगा।
Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Vijay Goyal agreed with Ghulam Nabi Azad and said that 10 hours have been allotted for discussion on the motion of thanks. He also said the interim budget needs to be discussed and some bills need to be passed.
और वास्तव में हमारे पास काफ़ी संवैधानिक जिम्मेदारियां हैं। 8 दिन हमारे खराब हो चुके हैं और मात्र आज और कल का दिन बचा है। हमने ये तय किया था कि हम राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर चर्चा करेंगे 10 घंटे, हमने ये तय किया था कि हम बजट पे 8 घंटे चर्चा करेंगे, और हमने ये तय किया था कि हम 6 बिल पास करेंगे। तो सदन इस बात पे सहमत होगा तो सदन के कुछ दिन बढ़ाए भी जा सकते हैं आगे, ताकि ये तीनों जो जिम्मेदारियां हम इसको पूरा कर सकें। और मैं सरकार को अभी चर्चा करने में कोई आपत्ति नहीं है, तुरंत इसकी चर्चा आरंभ करनी चाहिए।
The chairman gave permission for some important issues to be taken up in 0 hour before discussion on the motion of thanks ensued.
I have admitted some motions and all notices, and then as suggested by the leader of the opposition, agreed by the minister to the extent of discussions, I appeal to all the members that to see to it that we have a meaningful, peaceful discussion on the Thanksgiving motion to the President's address today, and try to complete the discussion today and take up budget and also the bills on which there is broad consensus. I hope the entire House will agree with me and then try to cooperate, because the time is very short.
During 0 hours, 15 members raised various issues of public importance, but members of the Samajwadi Party created uproar, stalling proceedings. The chairman appealed to members to let the House function, but seeing no let-up in their protests, he adjourned the House till 2 p.m.
Please go to your seats. Don't spoil the atmosphere. This is not the way. This is not the way. We have already lost so much valuable time. No, this will not go on record.
I lay the paper. Sir,
the House is adjourned to meet at 2 p.m.
The uproar continued even after the House reassembled. Amid the din, Minister of State for Finance Shiv Pratap Shukla presented the International Financial Services Centres Authority Bill 2019.
Shri Shiv Pratap Shukla to move for leave to introduce the International Financial Services Centre Authority Bill 2019. For leave, introduce a bill to provide the establishment of authority of the development and regulate the financial services market in the international financial services sector in India and later essential fair.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Rajya Singh Rathod tabled the Cinematograph Amendment Bill 2019. Deputy Chairman Harivansh appealed to members to let the House function and allow the discussion on motion of thanks to continue. However, as the uproar continued, the Deputy Chairman adjourned the House for 30 minutes.
और सदन में इस तरह की स्थिति बन रही है कि कोई चर्चा आगे न बढ़े, पुनः आधे घंटे के लिए सदन स्थगित करता हूं। आधे घंटे बाद पुनः मिले। मेरा आग्रह होगा कि आप एक सहमति बनाएं जिससे हम चर्चा को आगे ले सकें।
The deadlock continued even after the break, and the Deputy Chairman then adjourned the House for the day.
स्पष्ट लगता है कि बार-बार चेयर के अपील के बावजूद आप नहीं चाहते कि हाउस की कार्रवाई आगे चले। The House stands adjourned till 11 hours on Wednesday, the 13th February 2019.
Panchanand Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And now talking of Lok Sabha, well, some crucial bills are also slated for consideration and passing in the Lok Sabha today. These include the banning of Unregulated Deposit Schemes Bill 2018, which seeks to provide for a comprehensive mechanism to ban the unregulated deposit schemes and to protect the interests of the depositors. The bill will be moved by Finance Minister Piyush Goyal. And earlier this month, the Cabinet had approved proposals to amend the bill aimed to effectively tackle the menace of illicit deposit-taking activities and prevent Ponzi schemes from duping the poor. Also, Union Minister Maneka Gandhi will move the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Amendment Bill 2019. The bill, also known as the POCSO Bill, seeks to protect children from offences of sexual assault, sexual harassment and pornography, and provide for the establishment of special courts for the trial of such offences. Let's go back to our colleague Akhilesh Suman. Akhilesh, now, as far as Lok Sabha is concerned, the House yesterday passed the finance bill by a voice vote, and bills against Ponzi schemes as well as child sexual abuse are slated for consideration in passing. But at the same time, Akhilesh, the government is also likely to table the CAG report on capital acquisition in the Indian Air Force in the Parliament today. So how do you think the day will really pan out in the Lok Sabha?
Normally, Lok Sabha had been functioning relatively smoothly in comparison to Rajya Sabha, because that Lok Sabha had some major obligation of budget, so Lok Sabha has already passed the budget. So it is now the things like Ponzi scheme, that all political parties had been very, agitated over the cheating of small depositors in many states.
Yes. And
that CBI inquiry is also set up, and there was a confrontation, political confrontation in West Bengal on this issue also. So it is very important bill as far as the whole nation is concerned, right from West Bengal to Odisha to Assam. Many states are involved in this, and many of the cheat fund companies have been virtually cheating the small customers. Other than it, that there is an interesting development that All India Trinamool Congress. All India Trinamool Congress has given a notice on damage and destruction to the institution, constitutional institution, and also misuse of CBI. So these two things are there in the Lok Sabha also, and it will be very interesting that how much All India Trinamool Congress pushes this issue. They may try to disrupt the House, they may try to align with other opposition members for immediate discussion on this issue. So we may see some sort of disruption in lower house also today. And given the fact that CAG report on Air Force and Rafale may come today, so in that case this issue has been very close to the opposition, and opposition may try to find something that they may raise on the floor of the House, because this is the last day of this session. So I think we will keep the fingers crossed how things pan out in lower house, because lower house after today actually, then all the MPs will go to their respective constituency and prepare for the next election. So responsibility is more on the lower house, how they address the House today, how they take up the issues today, and how they go back to their respective constituency and what they tell to their people. Aishwarya?
Right. So the conduct of opposition will decide how the day really will pan out in both the houses today. Today being the last day of the both houses of Parliament before the general elections. Of course, the government will try to get approval from the House on the key pending bills. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates on Parliament there. Thank you. And earlier on Tuesday, Lok Sabha passed the Finance Bill 2019 by a voice vote. Replying to the discussion on the bill, Finance Minister Piyush Goyal appealed to the states to furnish data about farmers so that income support under the PM Kisan scheme is credited to their accounts at the earliest. He said that the tax-related proposals in the bill are aimed at helping the poor and the middle-class people living on a tight budget. The Finance Minister also informed the House that if a taxpayer's interest in savings and Mediclaim or have availed education loans, they can get a tax exemption on income up to 9.5 lakh rupees. Goyal said that the government is committed to protecting the interests of the small businesses under the GST regime. And participating in the discussion, KC Venugopal of the Congress party said that the NDA tenure is marked by growing unemployment, poverty and rise in farm distress. While TMC MP Saugat Roy alleged that the government failed to bring back black money from abroad as the Prime Minister had promised.
सरकार समर्पित है इस देश के किसानों को, ये सरकार समर्पित है इस देश के गरीबों को, ये सरकार समर्पित है इस देश के पिछड़ों को, ये सरकार समर्पित है इस देश के मध्यम वर्ग को, ये सरकार सबका साथ लेके सबका विकास करने वाली सरकार है। छोटे व्यापारी, छोटे उद्योग को कभी तकलीफ ना हो, ये इस सरकार की प्राथमिकता है। चाहे टैक्स कलेक्शन उससे कम क्यों ना हो, कि 9-9.5 लाख रुपए तक भी बिना टैक्स के आदमी अपना ये सब इन्वेस्टमेंट्स वगैरह करके बिना टैक्स के रह सकते हैं।
You know, from Mahatma Gandhi Narega, the laborer will get at least 200 rupees per day. Now you are offering 3 rupees per day for a farmer. Is it a big thing? Is it a big thing? Actually, we think that they are going to have a vote-on account, but they are trying to open an account of votes through this manifesto, like thing.
They just believe in sloganeering, and they are not able to capable of fulfilling their promises to the nation.
The government is unable to achieve the revenues it projects and budgets. And that also with 2 months to go. You are busy revising your revenues down. How will you meet the fiscal deficit?
In Breakfast News, time for a very short break. We'll be back with more news on the other side. Stay tuned.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today address a real estate conference organized by Realtors' apex body, CREDAI, in the national capital. The Prime Minister will address the CREDAI YouthCon 2019 at Talkatora Stadium. The Prime Minister will also visit the exhibition organized by CREDAI. YouthCon is the annual youth conclave of the Confederation of Real Estate Developers Association of India, or CREDAI, held to bring together the future of the real estate industry in India. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Finance Minister Piyush Goyal and Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Singh Puri are also scheduled to address the two-day event. Established in 1999, CREDAI is the apex body representing real estate developers from over 200 cities in the country. It has more than 10,000 members. Autosomato news, the retail inflation fell to a 19-month low of 2.05% in the month of January due to fall in the prices of food articles, mainly fruits and vegetables, coupled with easing of fuel cost. According to the data released, retail inflation based on the Consumer Price Index for December 2018 has also been revised downward to 2.11% from the earlier estimate of 2.19%. Meanwhile, industrial output growth remained subdued at 2.4% in December 2018 on account of a contraction of the mining segment and poor show by the manufacturing sector. Robert Wadhawan will appear before the Enforcement Directorate today in connection with an alleged land scam in Rajasthan's Bikaner district. On Tuesday, he was interrogated for 9 hours by the ED. His mother, Maureen, was also questioned for some time. The ED had registered a criminal case in connection with a deal in 2015 about alleged forgery in the allotment of land in the area, considered sensitive due to the proximity to the Indo-Pak border. Yesterday's appearance before the ED is directed by the Rajasthan High Court, which asked Robert Wadhawan to cooperate with the agency. And today's appearance will be the 5th time that Robert Wadhawan will be questioned by the agency in 2 separate cases. He was earlier summoned by the ED on 3 occasions in an alleged money laundering case in the purchase of a London-based property. Kolkata Police Commissioner Rajiv Kumar will appear before the CBI today for the 5th consecutive day for questioning in connection with the chit fund scam cases. Kumar is being questioned in connection with his role in the alleged tampering of evidence in the Sharada chit fund scam. On Tuesday, the top cop was questioned for over 11 hours by the CBI. Investigation officers of both Sharada chit fund scam and the Rose Valley scam were also present in the marathon questioning. Kumar was examined along with former Trinamool Congress MP Kunal Ghosh for the past 2 days. However, questioning of Ghosh is now over for the time being and he was allowed to return to Kolkata. Kumar had told the SIT formed by West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee to probe the Sharada chit fund scam before the case was handed over to the CBI by the Supreme Court. News from Rajasthan now. Well, as the protesting members of the Gujarat community refuse to quit their agitation, Congress leaders in the state say that the state government will announce a plan today to break the deadlock. Remember, Gujars are demanding 5% reservation in jobs and educational institutions. Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot discussed the issue with his ministers and other Congress leaders, following which the legislators have indicated that the government will move the special backward status quota bill for the Gujar community in the State Assembly today. A Congress legislator from Gujarat, Himmat Patel, met Gujar leader Kirori Singh Bansla at the protest site and conveyed it to the protesters that his party was ready to provide a solution, but the Gujar leaders refused to budge from the tracks. Now, scores of people from Gujar community led by the Gujar Arakshan Sangharsh Samiti have been protesting at the railway tracks at Savai Madhopur since Friday, demanding the implementation of 5% reservation that was promised to them by the state government. The protest has severely affected the traffic on the highways and the train movement along the Delhi-Mumbai line. On Tuesday, they blocked the Chaksu town, whereas traffic on the Agra-Jaipur-Bikaner National Highway 11, the state highway in Nanwa of Bundi district, as well as the Karoli-Hindon road continue to suffer. The agitation also turned violent on Sunday as protesters clashed with the police near Dholpur. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching and have a lovely day ahead.